That was a loud entrance.
Get yourself down. What I was saying.
Okay, I've got 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the Attica Board of Works and Safety for 5/5 of 2026. Would the clerk please call roll?
Mr. Galen,
Present.
Mr. Smart,
Present.
Mayor Grant,
Present.
Attorney Redlin.
Present.
Okay, Mayor.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from our previous meeting of 4/21?
Yes, and I'll make a motion we approve.
I'll second. Have a motion, a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oops. Turned too many pages. There's that. Thank you. Do we have any citizens petitions this evening? Any citizens that need to speak? None being heard, we'll go ahead and move on to department heads. Mr. Swank.
Another day in paradise. Busy can be, a lot going on at one time.
Did we pick up sticks and
We have
bags of
started.
leaves and stuff this week?
We have started, yes.
Okay. Yeah, some people have asked about that,
Yeah,
so just,
I've had several phone calls myself on it.
I know.
We've got probably 110 locates that we have to do this week. And
For the gas company and joint.
Yep, gas company and joint combined. Then we've just about finished planting all the arborvitae.
Yeah, I noticed that there was still a few laying down there the other day when I come by. Thank you for getting those in the ground. I appreciate that very much. I know you had a sewer problem yesterday. Did you get that rectified?
Yes, yeah, I showed her where everything was at. It wasn't the city issue. It was a homeowner issue.
Did they get it?
We opened it up for her.
Good, good. Thank you for doing that too. Sometimes that's kind of a gray area there, I know.
It is.
Is that all you've got?
Unsafe building orders.
Okay, that's coming up here. Chief Little is not here. I've already talked to Chief Miller today. He's working on some enforcement of ordinances. And hopefully they'll get those moved forward. I know I had a talk with a lady this morning and I said, just because you don't see people down there actively doing anything doesn't mean nothing's being done. It just means that the process to get things done sometimes is slower than what we like by the time people get to court and so on.
Property across from Rosemary Layton and Catty Corner from Haddock's house. I've noticed, I'm getting a lot of people saying they got boats out on the street and stuff in their backyard.
Is that where there's a couch sitting out there? 'Cause I just walked
Yeah,
by
a
yesterday,
couch on
there's
the
a couch
porch
sitting
or
out there.
I don't
No, it's
know.
on the side of the road.
Okay,
I walked by last night.
but it just, it's getting to be quite the eyesore, and they have all this stuff, and it's just everywhere. It's like parked on the side of the street in the backyard. I just didn't know if there's anything we could.
They're yearly offenders.
Yeah.
I know last year, I think Garrett, Miller, or Switch, one of the two,
Okay.
and went down there and tagged. I think there was like a Jeep Grand Cherokee and a couple other things.
Yeah. Okay. If you would mention to them, I know it's kind of been a eyesore. Looks like they are making some progress there on Pee Wee Purcell's place. Like some stuff's getting cleaned out.
If I understand correctly, I think he had a heart situation or something, so they gave him a little bit of a grace period there.
Correct. It's so they're on a review plan. They have review hearings every month with the city court on the third Monday of the month. Last month, both him and Terry Wilson were set for a review. However, we were informed of a medical issue, so it was reset for this month. But I'm happy to hear that there looks like there's some movement going on.
I noticed that he's talking about couches and things sitting out. I think that there are still people out there who think that we're doing curbside pickup for the spring cleanup. And we haven't done that for 2 years, and we've tried very hard to get the word out in every way that we possibly know to get it out, that it's not a curbside pickup. And we even had the forms here available for the football team to go pick up stuff, which they've graciously done for the last 2 years. And that's been a big help, and they've been able to raise some money for themselves, and that's been great. But you still have people setting stuff out the curb. I've got a piano sitting out on the corner just down the street from me on the corner. So HWC is not here. We'll go ahead and move on to unfinished business, and I guess I'll roll that in. We want to talk about 208, 210 South Perry and the unsafe building order. So I'll go ahead and turn that over to Attorney Redlin.
Yes, those two properties were set for a review hearing tonight. Service was complete on the property owners. I believe that Mr. Kraft may be here for that. Are you here for those properties?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to inform the board of your involvement with the properties?
Well, I'm not involved yet.
Okay.
Sure. I think last week, the property owners approached the city with, or a mediator for the owners approached the city, offering to see if the city had any interest in just donating that property. They're really looking for a way to just walk away. So the city contacted me as a representative from WEGA, and I contacted them and had a discussion. Basically what.
You contacted the owners?
Well, I have not spoke to the owner.
Okay.
The owner apparently is very sick. Has a pretty severe illness. I don't really know the details, but I think I'm dealing with a reasonable representative of the owners. Basically, the idea here is they would like to donate those two buildings, 208 and 210 South Perry Street. Does everybody know which two buildings those are?
Mm-hmm. One with the mural and the old index store.
Yes,
Yep.
the index building and the one on the end. They'd like to donate them to WEGA. What they're looking for is they're just looking for a way out. It would be a donation in exchange for a tax deduction, basically. Before they'll do that, they're looking for something from the Board of Works or the City of Attica to release any and all judgments, fines, whatever they may have against them. They're looking for a clean slate. I don't know if that's a letter or if that's a legal document or what that is, but something that they could just walk away, donate that building, those two buildings to WEGA. And that's why I came up to see if the Board of Works, if the City of Attica.
Now, so first of all, did you ever gain access to the inside?
Not to the inside.
Did we get permission through the letter? Because remember we stated that
We did not get permission from the letter, but the letter did ask for permission.
Okay.
I have not had any direct conversations or communications with the property owner, except for one email prior to the board finding the properties to be unsafe. That's the only conversations that I've had any contact with them.
So I'm assuming the 208's the one with the mural. 208. Is that 208?
Other way around.
210.
Or 210. Okay, so
Further
210.
south.
Yeah, my bad. 210. That we know. I mean, what we've been reported is that when you looked in the window, the floor was collapsing. So there's a good chance that could be condemned. It's pretty far gone. They haven't done anything for the longest time on it. And I would probably guess that the other property is probably not too far behind it. So I guess number one is, before I think we can release anything, we have to take a closer look, because even though if we deed it to somebody else, still it's a condemned building, and that whoever inherits that will inherit that cost or whatever if we do deem it condemned. So are you aware of that? I mean, are you still willing to take that on?
Well, let me first say, WEGA has had these buildings in their sites for a while now. I'll be honest, really, we're not ready to take them on. It would be better, kind of in my mind, I think in the group's mind, we are hoping to get a year further with the building next door and then start approaching how we can get a hold of these buildings. Am I aware that they're potentially in terrible shape and potentially unsafe? Yes, I'm aware of that. I think WEGA is the right apparatus for that. That was the whole reason it was created. We're basically funded by the city so that we can take on projects like this. I think I can't speak for the entire board, I can speak for myself, that probably we would go the extra mile here. I feel it's important those two buildings get saved, or what's left of historic downtown Attica. If we're talking about a cost in the millions, I think we would work towards finding that money and saving these buildings. I think the basic plan here's how we would approach this, and I'll have to look at my notes, because the first thing, if we did acquire the buildings, what we would want is an agreement between WEGA and the Board of Works that we're working towards safety first, okay? I think step one, once we acquire them, and we can do this, we can start early, if we have the right agreements in place, but step one we would have to bring a structural engineer in. That's gonna take, I'm guessing that's gonna take 60 to 120 days to get that person in there, get a report back, find out what's actually wrong with the building. There's a lot wrong there, obviously, but what is wrong that may make those buildings a safety issue? Okay, so that would be step one, making the building safe. We'd also, while we're doing that, we're gonna need to do a phase one environmental. We're gonna have to check for hazardous materials, lead-based paint, asbestos. So we would take that too. And then once we have that plan in place, determine how much money we need, where we're gonna get that money, and then initiate that plan. I don't really know what that looks like, because I don't know what condition those buildings are.
Well,
That would be step one. And then I think once you get past the safety issue, long-term, what we're looking at, again, find the funding source to save those buildings. Now, in the end, that may not be possible, but I sure hope it is. I think that is in the best interest of the city, is to save those buildings. I do think we are the right group for it. We have the pieces in place. I wish we were farther along and had more experience and more pieces in place, but we have the grant writing ability, we have the real estate ability, we have these tools in place to do a project like this.
and I admire you for wanting to save these old buildings. I just, as a business guy, I kind of think, even if you were able to rehab him and save him, is that what modern businesses want? Do they want to be in an old building like that? Is it efficient to run a building like that? Those are kind of my questions, but I guess that's more down to your court. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I do think before, I'm comfortable answering that question, I would like Eric to get in there and take a look at it and see, how bad a shape they are, and do we feel comfortable? Is it condemned at that point, or is it salvageable before we turn that over to somebody else? Because,
Well, here's my take on the whole thing. It doesn't matter who owns the building. That doesn't change the condition of the building.
Correct.
Now, who has the better chance of getting this problem rectified? It doesn't sound to me like that the current owners have the ability or the drive to, at this point in time, to do anything. So if we don't push for WEGA to take over the building, I think our chances of getting anything done are slim to none at this point in time. I think our best chance of getting anything done is with WEGA, unless somebody's got, millions of dollars in their back pocket and they're going to come in and do this. But if we take a hard stance on this, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think these people are going to walk away, and the city may be on the hook.
And an emergency situation could arise, similar to the hotel.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
or the old Hoosier.
Yeah, and here's my thing is, and I don't disagree with that. I mean, in a perfect world, I love you to have it. It's not that I don't want you to have it. I'm just saying, I think we need to inspect it to make sure it is not a hazard to people walking by.
Well,
We don't know how far
what
along
would
it
we do
is.
if it was?
Well, then,
I mean,
then if,
what does that change?
well, what I'm trying to say
Then you're gonna
is,
be on the hook for the money eventually.
I understand it,
Totally.
but my point is then if we do turn it over, do we have a timetable in which this has to be done and fixed or tore down? Because if it's a hazard to the public, then we just can't, wait maybe 2 years. Maybe we don't have 2 years to wait
Well,
before it collapses.
And I think that we need to give WEGA that timetable. We need to dictate what that timetable is.
That's what I'm saying.
But that
So-
doesn't change, the ownership change doesn't change the structure of the building. What it does
Or what work
is
needs to happen.
it gives us the ability to have somebody that has the wherewithal to make something happen where the people
And I
that
don't
currently
disagree
have
with
it don't. And I don't think it's really up to us to say, no, you can't give that building to WEGA. What it means is that we take our knee off their neck temporarily and give WEGA a chance to evaluate the building and figure out what needs to be done.
And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I would like to know what kind of shape that building's in so that we can say to WEGA, this is our evaluation. If we need to take a step further and have a structural engineer look at it, but this is kind of timetable. If you take this over, we expect at least to get it structurally sound to where it's not a danger to this.
I don't want to kick this down the road another month either.
Right, but I just
I-
think that it's important that we kind of know what we're dealing with.
I think it is, and I
Go
think
ahead,
we'll
Eric.
find that
If
out.
they're willing, WEGA's gonna send the engineer in there right away.
I say that's what
That's
Mr.
my
Kraft's
point.
timetable
That's
Why-
my point.
indicated.
We would like to, we have to get the building first. And it doesn't, to us, to me, it doesn't matter. Eric can walk in there and say, oh, this is gonna fall down tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I still think we should move forward with this. We would be totally agreeable. I think step one has to be, we've got to get a structural engineer in there and devise a plan. What do I think? I think that'll take 2 to 4 months. Maybe quicker. I don't know the answer. I can't give you the answer on how long there. But certainly we can do it faster than what is gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
The next step would be, okay, so if we determine, let's just guess at some numbers here. If we determine the overall restoration of these two buildings gets over $3 or $4 million, and I don't know the numbers here, I'm just throwing out some examples, okay, to where we don't think we can get that, it just becomes insane. Not that 3 or 4 million isn't insane,
Right.
but. if
There's a
it-
breaking
because-
point there somewhere.
Yeah.
And the buildings have to come down. I still think that we are the right entity. We can kind of show you what we did at 105 West.
Right, no. and
I
agree
was
with
just
that.
going to
whether-
bring that up.
Whether it's restored or taking down or what, we are the entity that can do it, that can lose money on it and then circle it around and push it.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree with that. I just
So,
wanted you to be informed and us to be informed exactly what we're getting into here. That was kind of my fear. But Eric, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just gonna say, let them have it, their liability, they can put a fence around it, if the thing falls down.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with
If
that.
not, we're gonna end up tearing.
Right.
And if we do nothing, the current owner, that it's gonna be 2 years to a year before we ever are
and
probably.
then I think the current situation with the proceedings and probably the illness, now's the time. There's a
Right.
saying in real estate, time kills deals.
Mhm.
The
So-
iron's hot.
So
And you're bringing a great point up, and I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying I'm just worried about
Good.
what condition is in, how far it's gone.
and we know it's in bad condition. We know it's too far down the road, but
Yeah,
I think our best
I don't,
bet is with WIGA, and I think if we delay that, we're just delaying the inevitable here. And we could jeopardize WIGA getting it. And I think the question needs to be how long, and you said maybe up to, could we revisit this? Let's see, this is May, June, July, maybe in August, you could come back and give us an update on where we're
I'm
at.
glad to do any intervals you want. My thought is that, you know, again, we'll move to get someone in there as soon as possible. Once we get that report back and we know what we have to do, we have, you know, we'll ask him for two things. Safety plan, you know, structural, what do we have to do to make it
Immediate
safe?
need.
right,
That's what we
step
need.
one.
that's our big
And then
thing.
step
Immediate.
two,
Right.
if possible, and I believe it probably is, we pretty much, even though the Doug Studio building wasn't in near as bad a shape as these, I think, we've still replaced everything. So, you know, I think these buildings are savable. It won't surprise me a bit if we get in there and find out they're not, you know, there's too much. But step one, you know, as soon as we have this report, we'll come back to you with a plan. This is what needs done to the building. This is how long we think it'll take. You know, we'll have to see, the first thing, the safety plan. Do we have the money in the WIGA budget to do that, or are we gonna have to find funding for that?
Right.
There's
Well,
the big-
I'm at
there's
peace
the
with
big
that.
question.
I'm at peace if you come back and you do an evaluation and this is what we gotta do immediately to get this thing where it's not danger to the public.
That's what
You
I
know,
think.
and I'm at
Come
peace
back-
with that.
Come back to the board with that structural report.
Right.
And say, okay, here's our plan. This is what's gonna cost. This is how long we think it's gonna take.
That's what we need to happen.
Yeah.
And then from that point, you know, once we're safe. Then step two would be overall, basically what I think the thought is that and the thought in my head is, we wanna build, if we could save these buildings, we wanna build a nice shell. Good roof, solid brick structure, solid foundation, you know, maybe windows or whatever, maybe even some mechanicals. But build a really nice shell that then we could market to somebody for a usable purpose,
And then-
whatever that.
And then they have a blank slate,
like,
and then
Yeah.
inside they can
Yeah,
formulate it
I'm
whatever they want.
comfortable with that, as long as we get a safety
The-
report, and we know they're structurally trying to make it sound.
I'd say
Safe.
when I was thinking about it, you know, I was thinking of the 105 West Mill property. We'd started the process of an unsafe building order on that property. However, it never got to the point of an unsafe building because the property owner sprung into action and was working with WIGA initially to get it transferred to them. So the board never voted that it was an unsafe building. It was delayed a couple of months to ensure that the property was transferred, and then WIGA took care of it. The board didn't have to do anything else. In these situations, we do have unsafe building orders on them and recorded. And so I guess the first point of action is that we would need to know that the properties are being in fact transferred to WIGA, and I think that will alleviate some concern on your end, Andy, because then it's their baby. Then they're going to incur the costs of the structural engineer, because they're not going to go in and get a structural engineer if they've not acquired the property yet. That seems pointless, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the only difference in what they're doing with these properties based on, versus what they did with 105 Mill. So I kind of see it kind of going the same trajectory.
I agree.
I said at this point, there haven't been any fines levied on the property.
No,
That
there
was
has
what
been
the
no
conversation
fines.
was going
Yeah,
to be
we're
about.
Yeah.
moving that direction.
Right.
There
Right.
has been no fines levied on the property for noncompliance. They've just been, the unsafe building orders have just been recorded so that it's a cloud on the title. That's it. So
So can we compel them to, or ask them to move forward with the transfer in a certain
so
amount of time?
yeah, so
Or-
that's
or
what-
we will levy fines?
Mhm.
or we
Yeah.
need to see
Yeah,
we need
I
to see
guess.
traction on the property from them and not WIGA, because
That's
WIGA's not
what
going to
I'm-
do anything.
That's what I'm saying. We need
Correct.
them to go ahead and move forward with transferring the property within a certain timeline.
Correct.
Because we don't want them to wait until
Correct.
July
They
to
have
transfer it.
They have requested to close on May 25th.
Oh, that's
that would
good.
be fantastic.
That's good. So
I just got that today.
I'll take that, yeah.
And that should give us enough time to get title work back. Should,
So
or close anyway.
Can we say that we want it transferred by the end of this month? And then we would give WEGA
Yeah.
until
I think that's fine.
our August meeting to come back with a report from a structural engineer, at least a preliminary report at that point in time.
Yeah, I cannot guarantee we'll have answers by August, but.
But you may
Yeah,
know
we can
what the
try.
status of.
We know what the
Try.
status.
if
I
you-
can at
no, no.
least report, this is where we're at.
Correct, yeah,
Yeah.
you've
When it's-
retained this person to do this investigation, they're coming
That's
this day.
progress. And that's what
Correct.
we want to see.
And once they get possession, then there'll be access to the building by.
Correct.
Director of
And then,
Public Works
is there
and-
any chance that Eric, once you do gain possession, could Eric go down, meet with you and then just kind of look at it?
I am always glad to walk through a scary
Okay.
building.
Then he could report back to us just kind of what he feels.
Right,
You know,
good point, yeah.
I would feel good about that.
All right, so can we get a motion to that? effect?
I'll make the motion that we allow the transfer to WEGA.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
So would the board want to have a review in the first meeting in June to see if the transfer had in fact occurred?
I
Or are we
think-
just gonna
I
hope?
think we need to know that it occurred
Okay.
at our June meeting first.
Do you want me to just report that, or would you like me at the meeting?
As
I
long
think
as we know it, I think.
You
we're
reported it
okay.
would be enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then if you get a
send me an
chance with
email or
Eric,
something,
then
I can
Eric
print it
report.
off and bring it to the meeting.
Okay.
And then I would assume that at that June meeting, as long as there has been positive, movement, then it would be set for review in August
Right.
to then report the status of the
That
structural.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, but then more
Sounds
likely
fantastic.
Eric will have.
My
some
last
eyes on
question
it.
would be, what can the Board of Works give to these owners to set their mind at ease?
They'll get a
no
copy.
fines, there's no judgments, there's no.
There hasn't been any fines levied. What I would suggest we do is just like after every one of our review hearings, I send them an order from tonight's proceedings and report what was just decided upon. And
As
they'll
long as
have
they
that
have
in
it
their
transferred
possession.
By the end of
That
this.
we
Yeah,
expect the transfer to
or they
occur
can
before the
expect
end of
fines.
May, that there's a review hearing set in June,
As long as it's
um,
transferred by
and
June,
that you were going to be
15th.
reporting
we won't levy any fines.
in June
Just
what
to
the
make it clear
progress is.
There's no fines or judgments.
Well, I mean, that, it should be clear that there hasn't been any fines levied.
Yeah, nothing on the record yet.
Yeah.
But can you write a letter and say, as long as it's been transferred by June 15th, that we will not levy any fines
Against them.
against them up until that date, as long as they have made the transfer over
I
the
do
weekend?
think it would be helpful to me, to WEGA, to
Mhm.
have some kind of clear documentation that sets their mind at ease. That would be helpful to the process.
Well,
Okay.
and I think you said you're gonna draft a letter saying that there hasn't
Yeah,
been any fines.
So
and-
after every one of our review hearings, we do an order of the Board of Works, and there is a letter that's included with it that just says this is what happened at the hearing last night. If they were here, then it says, as you are aware, this is what happened, and it's all put into writing. So I will include that language in these things, but I don't think I
That's
need to do
great.
anything additional.
Okay.
But I can also provide you a copy.
Now, when
So
you
should
said
we
there
the
were,
file?
Yes.
when you said there was no liens, did you just mean city liens, or do we know there's no?
Oh,
back
yeah, I only,
taxes
We don't know
or?
about
I
okay.
only know about, there's no liens from the Board of Works for fines assessed.
Right. But you don't know
um,
about city.
Correct. I don't know about any other city issues. I don't know about any judgments. I have nothing.
Haven't checked taxes, but we plan to. and
That's the whole point
if
of
There are some,
title work.
the deal we have made is if they donate the building, we'll pay any and all costs. If that includes,
Okay.
I mean, as long as it's not a ridiculous amount, I mean, we're willing to pay it.
Okay.
So
Great.
that would be smaller than the
June
structural
second,
engineer.
June 2nd is the first
Correct.
meeting.
Yeah, June 2nd.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Brian.
Brian. Appreciate that.
Appreciate the help.
Okay, and then we had one more review hearing for the property at 610 South Union. Is that the one you are here for, sir? Are you Bobby Farrar?
Yes.
Awesome. Nice to see you again. We are set for review in this one. This one was Eric.
That's a scary building.
So this one was set for review back in September because there was some work that needed to be done. So what is the status of the work completion on this property?
I have mowed, I've cleaned all the rubbish in the back, I've trimmed the bushes down. I am in the process of working on the roof itself. Like I told Eric, if you drive by and look at it, you cannot see that I've done anything because it is tarped. But I have video, I've showed Eric the video of it. It's tore part of the trusses. I tore the OSB off. I'm replacing OSB, you know, and right now I'm just fighting with weather. I've been fighting with.
You mean you don't want to be roofing today?
No.
Rain?
But I've been fighting with trying to get time off of work to do it, and then now Mother Nature's just fighting me tooth and nail. So I am trying. I'm doing it all on my own. So
I've been down by there, and I think it looks better already.
well, thank you. I'm trying to keep the mess. You know, like I showed him. There's not no pile of shingles or roofing stuff. I'm hauling everything off as I tear it off, so there's not a big mess to look at.
And the neighbors aren't throwing mattresses on your pile.
No, yeah. If I keep it going, maybe they'll leave me alone.
That's right. So how much time do you think you need to complete the unsafe building order?
As far as it is the roof, and like I said, I'm fighting Mother Nature. I
If you get some good weather, do you think by July you could have it done, or?
I will hope so.
Okay.
I'm doing it all on my own.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm there by myself.
Yeah.
I don't like heights. I will tell you that. I'm afraid of heights.
Me too.
But I
Me
am
too.
up on the roof doing it and forcing myself, so.
What about if we set it early August? Will that give you all summer? You should be able to complete the task, both financially and time-wise. I mean, do you think that'd give you adequate time?
I'll.
Eric,
shoot
is
for
it,
that.
has it, from what he has indicated, is that what your observations of the property has been as well?
Yep, the perimeter of the property, he's done a really great job of cleaning it up, maintaining it.
Patched
as
the
far as-
holes? I know that there were some holes that needed to be addressed immediately.
Yeah.
Those were all addressed.
Yep.
Okay.
And now he is in the process of removing the roof down to the trusses. And what I seen yesterday, yes, he's got a pretty good start on.
So can we set up something for maybe like the first meeting in August? Does that sound good,
That
guys?
sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be the 4th, August 4th. Yeah, you'll get, Leona will get a copy of this, but I can write it down on a piece of paper for you as well.
Well, I can take it home and show her what,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
She's, you know how moms are.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna be walking the floor till you get back and tell me, so.
So I'll make a motion. We reschedule for the first meeting in August, August 4th, for another hearing to get the progress report.
I'll second.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for
Thanks.
working on
Thanks
that.
for
We
the
appreciate
progress.
it.
Like I said, I think it looks a lot better
Yep.
already. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to payroll.
People want paid, so I'll approve the payroll ledger. Make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second that.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep. you too.
There's no utility.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Guys.
There's no utility cuts.
Oh, no, there weren't any credits.
No, there weren't any.
I didn't see paper.
That's a first.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Disconnects. And we've got a pretty long, I think there's 16 pages of them.
I think part of the reason the list is longer is because bills were delayed getting out. There were some issues with meter reading with some faulty meters that delayed the bills to get mailed out.
We just got ours
Today, yeah,
I'm kidding you.
yeah.
So hopefully by the end of the time, we'll be down to, a dozen of them or less again.
Yep. I'll make a motion, we approve
I'll
disconnects.
second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Don't need to sign that one. And the next thing I have on the agenda is, and I passed it around, and I think last year, I don't know that it went in front of the Board of Works, but the CCMG contract with HWC, that's basically allowing them to go ahead and move forward with applying for the Community Crossings grant like we did last year. We got a record $1 million grant last year, or this year, for road repairs. We ended up, the estimates came in a little bit lower than what we had originally thought, so we didn't end up spending $1 million, but there's a match that goes in there, and I hope that people, when they look at our budget, sees that we have a match there for the Community Crossings grant. If you want your road repaired, you gotta put a little skin in the game.
Is that a 50/50 or what is that?
No, it's
70/30?
70/30.
70/30? It's pretty good.
So we have a motion to go ahead and sign that contract with HWC.
Yep, I'll make a motion, we
I'll
approve.
second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is claims.
Has everybody had a chance to look at claims?
Yes, and
I
I'll make a
did.
motion, we approve claims.
And I will second that.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. There's that. Thank you.
Yep.
There's that. I don't have any miscellaneous business unless you guys have anything else you'd like to discuss this evening. So that being said, our next meeting is Tuesday, May 19th at 5 p.m. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye. Should we give us a copy of that? Just a correspondence on that.
If you want, I don't really.
It doesn't matter, it's up to your call.